Winds fuel raging flames across our area, from Great Falls, where nearly a dozen homes are destroyed, leaving many looking to the community for help.
Seeing disasters and seeing people in distress, this is why we had to open.
To Denton, where unpredictable flames forced the town to evacuate. And in Glacier County, where flames whipped through fields and winds tore apart homes. Tonight, we have team coverage for you as we track the damage from across our region.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for making KRTV a part of your evening. I'm Tim McGonigal. We begin with the multiple large wind-driven fires across north central Montana today. So far, the most destructive was just south of Great Falls. At a news conference this afternoon, Great Falls Fire Chief Jeremy Jones said 11 houses in the Gibson Flats area have been lost. 11 garages, 7 outbuildings, and multiple cars have also been lost. The fire was reported around 2:45 this morning and started in a field. The cause of the fire is under investigation. One chicken died in the fire, but there have been no other deaths and no injuries. When residents will be able to go back to their homes is unknown.
It's going to be a while yet, so we are setting up for people to get the resources they want with the Red Cross. Until the whole scene is cold, like, we're not worried about anything going again. It's just going to determine on the weather of when that is.
And MTN's Colter Anstett was at the scene covering the fire during Montana this morning. He joins us there live again. Colter, how does that scene now compare to what you saw this morning?
Tim, the scene is much calmer tonight, although the wind doesn't seem to have died down much. Most notably, there is no raging inferno off in the distance here behind me. I'm where I was this morning at the intersection of 26th Street South and 33rd Street South, because for most of the day, this is as close as we could get to the fire. The road going down to the fire behind me here was actually blocked off because the fire scene was so active, and the scene is still active tonight, as a matter of fact, and is expected to be active until at least sometime tomorrow. Many of the people who live down in Gibson Flats and evacuated this morning made their way to nearby Great Falls Central Catholic High School, where I was able to catch up with some of them. As the wind howled in the pre-dawn hours Wednesday morning, power lines could be seen silhouetted by the orange glow of a raging wildland fire just south of Great Falls.
We just got some phone calls and then the sheriff came and said to evacuate.
Steve Boland evacuated to Great Falls Central Catholic High School when it was set up as an evacuation center.
We're up on the hill above everything, so we just looked out and saw it down below us, and quite a bit of flames, and there's a lot of smoke.
As kids played basketball in the gym to pass the time, Red Cross and Salvation Army representatives were making sure they and everyone else had food and drinks and a place to sit and rest.
We'll be working with our partners in the community and Red Cross especially to make sure that we help those affected the best we can.
Great Falls Central Catholic High School counselor Deacon Reverend Robert Ferguson says the school is prepared for situations just like this.
We are part of the disaster preparedness plan in Great Falls for this area, and I received a phone call this morning from the Sheriff's Department asking us to open up.
He said evacuees he talked to seem to be doing okay.
Most of the people are taking this pretty well. They're hopeful that the fire department will be able to get this out.
As daylight arrived and the wind continued to howl, smoke could be seen blowing across a large swath of burnt grass in a field. Despite the damage, everyone was thankful for the community response.
This says everything about our community. This is one of the most giving and generous and supportive communities I've ever been a part of.
This is a great community. Yeah, they've done a good job.
Now, if you were impacted by the fire and are in need of assistance, you are asked to call the American Red Cross at 1-800-272-6668. Governor Greg Gianforte was actually here about an hour ago taking a tour of the damage. I was able to tag along on that tour, and I will have that story coming up tonight at 10. But for now, live in Cascade County, Colter Anstett, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Colter. Well, when tragedy strikes, our communities always seem to pull together. A group of 3 women have already created a Facebook group to spearhead a donation drive to help those affected by the fire. You can find the details on our website, krtv.com. And in response to the dangerous conditions, Cascade County is moving to re-implement Stage 1 fire restrictions. This means no open burning, no campfires outside of developed recreation or campfire ring sites, and no smoking outside of vehicles, buildings, or areas that are not clear of flammable materials.
This fire restriction may have to go on because of how extensive that damage was last night. Those things to happen, and I think of our rural firefighters getting a call at 2 in the morning and saying, we got to go fight this in the dark and those kind of things. If we can avoid these things, it's better, it's safer, and hopefully we'll get some snow and then we can remove those.
Meanwhile, in Denton tonight, more devastation. Some video coming up here from our reporter on the scene, Eric Johnson. The fire was first reported shortly after 11 p.m. I understand we don't have that video. North of Stanford on Highway 80, strong winds pushed the fire east towards Denton. Mutual aid was requested from several state agencies and surrounding communities. After initial progress in suppression efforts, the winds picked up and the fire jumped the highway. Fergus County Fire Warden Ryan Peterson ordered an evacuation in Denton at 1:30 this afternoon. Highway 81 is closed west of Denton and all residents are evacuating to the east. Power lines are believed to have caused this fire, but information is still being gathered. We've heard reports of wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Our crew will have a full report tonight at 10. Well, in Browning, a fire is now 90% contained, but it took a lot of teamwork from neighboring communities to get a handle on this one. MTN's Brianna Juneau has more.
A fire that broke out at around 3 a.m. has caused a community shutdown. Browning schools were closed due to a raging fire fueled by 80-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, busy day.
Glacier County has been dealing with winds reaching up to 100 miles per hour for the past week.
Our winds were, well, I woke up to the winds at 100 miles an hour.
The day of chaos started off with a blaring fire around 3 a.m., stretching over 7 miles and calling in nearly 100 firemen. Firefighters were fighting flames and wind gusts. Shortly after, emergency crews were called for power outages across the county.
It's been causing roofs and shingles and buildings and cars.
And to top it off, a semi-truck on US 89 was blown over, blocking the main road. Browning schools decided early that the schools would be shut down for the day, allowing the middle school to be used as a shelter for those affected.
High, and then we saw the pictures and the videos of the fire, and about 60 of our staff members, if not more, come from the east end of the reservation or Cupbank, and so they wouldn't had any way to go except all the way around through Shelby, so that was another factor. And also the surrounding communities were without electricity, so we just used all of those together and decided to, for the safety of everybody, we would cancel school today.
Even the football stadium is feeling the effects of the wind. The brand new facility had its roof unwillingly removed late Tuesday night.
That was Brianna Juneau reporting.